Yo guys, welcome back to another video on our channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my honest Vanguard review from playing both the beta weekends and even the Champions Hill Alpha. Quickly before we do jump into it guys, if you aren't around, be sure to subscribe to the channel, notifications turn on so miss any more videos on the channel. When Vanguard drops, I'm going to be giving you guys the best camo guides, tips and tricks, class setups, best ways to level up, the fast ways to level up guns and all that sort of good stuff, so make sure you are subscribed and notifications turn on so miss any of that. If you do enjoy this video, be sure to smash thumbs up, and also let me know your thoughts on the Vanguard beta from what you have seen / played in the comments, because I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say about the whole thing, but I'm going to jump into it right now. So behind me is probably just going to be some Vanguard gameplay that I have got from one of the other games that I've been playing. But I'm just going to be talking about the Vanguard beta and what I did like and what I didn't like about it and what I felt need changing and what I felt was pretty much perfect within the game. And I'm going to start off with the weapons themselves. Obviously, we haven't got every single gun in the game. We don't know exactly how every gun feels. But overall, the weapon balancing actually felt pretty good. Considering it's a beta, yes, okay, there was a couple standout guns like the MP40 and the STG. However, a lot of the guns felt like they should be doing exactly what they should be doing. For example, snipers, a lot of the time, were getting one-shot kills, which is how sniping should be, rather than having to hit right at the top of the chest or the head. I found I could hit like body shots, even sometimes some leg shots, and get one-shot kills, which just made sniping a lot more enjoyable for people that like to run around quickscope, because you're not restricted to such a small space that you do have to hit every single time with every single bullet, and it just made it a lot more fun. And it's also probably going to make the camo challenges for snipers a tad bit easier as well. And also, considering the ADS speed on the snipers isn't great, it sort of balances it out quite nicely. So you do have a slightly slower ADS speed, but it's a one-shot kill to any part of the body, which does make it a little bit more balanced in my opinion. Then when it comes to ARs and SMGs and LMGs and that sort of thing, every single gun does exactly what it should be doing. SMGs didn't seem to get outgunned by ARs up close, and SMGs didn't seem to outgun ARs and LMGs from up close, or from a distance, if that makes sense. So the AR was the longer range gun, and the SMG was the closer range gun. There was no one really running about with ARs and getting up close kills a lot of the time, and there was no one really running about with SMGs and absolutely beaming people from an AR sort of distance, which made the game feel very balanced, and it sort of made you have to change your playstyle depending on what map you're playing on. If you're on a bigger map, you have to pull out an AR or a sniper or an LMG to be able to get those longer range gunfights, and if you're on a smaller map like Hotel Raid on Blitz with like 10v10 or whatever it might be, having an SMG is very, very key, because it's such up close gunfights. You need to have that good SMG up damage, you need to have that really fast time to kill, and that good up close damage, which an SMG has, which an AR doesn't. And if you was using an AR, there's a good chance you were getting outgunned every single time. And personally, I thought the weapons felt really, really good. I didn't get a chance to use every single gun. Like, I didn't mess about with a shotgun, I didn't mess about with any of the secondaries, so I don't really know how they played. But in terms of a lot of the primaries, the snipers, the SMGs, the LMGs, the ARs, all that sort of stuff, they genuinely felt really balanced, and I really enjoyed the way that they did feel. So in terms of the maps is one of my biggest concerns, because with Modern Warfare could have been such a great game. However, the maps really let it down. Everyone all year round complained the maps were too big, and the only good maps ended up being Shipment, Rust, maybe Hackney Yard, because that wasn't too big. But outside of that, the maps were a little bit too big, and they weren't really that fun. It was a bit more of a struggle to drop high kill games on, just because of the fact that it took you a while to find anyone within the games. However, with Vanguard, what I seemed to notice was, so some of the bigger maps, for example, like Red Star, and then also the Jungle one, I can't remember the name of it right now, but the Jungle one and Red Star, they felt slightly big. But what I really, really like the fact they've done this year is they've put in Blitz game modes, and the game modes that just basically make the teams bigger, because if you find that you're getting a day where you're probably getting a lot of the bigger maps rather than some of the smaller and more compact maps, you guys can go, actually, you know what, I don't want to be playing these maps on 6v6, let me bump it up to the second one or the Blitz one, where you've got like 16 versus 16 on some of the maps. It's just more chaos, there's just stuff going on all the time. And personally for me, you guys know I love grinding the camos. I think this is a great addition, because it can make the camo grind so much easier. If you're now up close and you've got action going on 24/7, a lot of the camos you could probably start flying through quite quickly, because of the fact there's going to be a lot of gameplay, there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of gunfights going on, which I think this will really help out with the camo grind. But it also just means you can avoid playing a lot of the bigger maps with less people on, so there's more action. The big maps feels like a fast-paced map, no matter how big on the map, which is, I think, is a really, really great addition. The one thing I wish you could do was kind of set one of the maps to like a certain player count, if that makes sense, because some of the maps felt great on 6v6. They felt like they played really, really well on 6v6. However, if you were searching in the 6v6 playlist, you could still get Red Star. If I could cancel out, so even if I got Red Star and it just bumped it up to like 10v10, for example, I'd feel a lot happier with that, because in the close maps, the small maps are still 6v6. It's not too chaotic. It's the right balance for what it should be. But then you get a map like Red Star and it goes, right, okay, this player wants a little bit more players within their lobby, so we'll chuck 10v10 or 16 versus 16 in the bigger maps for them, and then they can have that action that they do want. And don't get me wrong, what they've done is an absolutely amazing thing with, like I say, putting the Blitz game mode in, so you can avoid that on the bigger maps. The only problem is the big maps are still in the smaller rotation, and the small maps are still in the big rotation, if that makes sense. So that's the only one negative I can think of it. But overall, a lot of the maps did feel really fun. I got slightly bored towards the end, only because it was the same 4/5 maps over and over and over again, and you're going to get bored that quickly anyway. I'm really looking forward to launch because we've got 20 maps at launch. It's going to keep me very engaged. It's going to keep the nice rotation. It's a nice big rotation as well. You'll be able to get a good feel for a lot of the maps, get used to a lot of the maps, and I feel once we get used to the 20 maps at launch, let alone the other maps they are going to add in throughout the year, I think we could be looking at a really, really good variety of maps for multiplayer with all the different game modes like Blitz, the standard one, the middle one where it's got 8v8 and all that sort of stuff as well. I think we could be really looking forward to a really, really good year of maps, and I'm actually super excited to see what other maps and that they do bring in. In terms of the movement system, I think the movement system felt so clean. I heard a lot of people complaining that it didn't feel quite like Warzone or quite like whatever. But if you guys had also played the alpha like I did, you'll remember on the alpha, the slide cancelling was so delayed that it just didn't feel great at all. I really, really struggled to see how this movement system on the alpha felt anything like Warzone. And then it got to the beta and it was much more polished. It felt a lot more like Warzone. Okay, not to Warzone to the exact T, but it felt very, very close. And I believe when the full game drops, they'll have this bang on. It'll feel exactly the same as Warzone does, which would be a nice change. Because then you go from Warzone to Vanguard without having to get used to any different movement system, because that was one of my biggest problems with playing Cold War a lot. I'd be used to Cold War for like an hour or two, maybe even 3 hours. I'd get used to that movement system, go on to Warzone, try and play like I'm playing Cold War, and it just completely threw me off because it's not the same movement system. So I'm really, really glad that they have done it. They've changed it back to the movement system of Warzone because I'm a big fan of it. I love the slide cancel, I love the B-hops, I love the movement system in general. I feel very, very good on it. It's one of my favorite and more confident movement systems as well. I just feel very good on it. I feel like I feel confident going to a lot of gunfights because I know I can outgun people, outplay people, put some movement together and get out of situations if I need to. So it makes me feel really good about it. I really, really am glad that they have done this. I want to know your thoughts. Are you glad they've changed the movement system back to the Warzone movement system for this game? You let me know in the comments below. So now if we go to a couple of negatives, guys, what I will say is the sun glare was way too much in this game. I know they've been listening. I'm pretty sure they're going to tone this down and just take away, but there was certain times I was running through the map and all I could see was a big fireball in the top corner of my screen, which just took over the entire thing, and I genuinely lost so many gunfights because the fact the sun was just in the way and I actually couldn't see where my opponent had gone. So hopefully they do tone this down within the actual full game when the full release does come out. And then the only other thing is SBMM. I don't know why you put SBMM in a beta, because you're trying to get as many people to enjoy your game and play the game so they actually go through and buy the game. I don't really understand why they put SBMM in it. I just hope when the full game comes, it's nowhere near as twisted as the Cold War SBMM was, because that was painful. If you wanted to have a sort of a decent game on Cold War, you had to pretty much reverse boost a lot of the time, which was really painful. I never really done that because I didn't have the time of day for it, and I really didn't care to play Cold War that much because the game wasn't that fun. But hopefully they don't ruin the game with SBMM. I feel like this is the only thing that could go possibly wrong with Vanguard in my eyes at the minute. I know it's just an opinion thing, but in my eyes at the moment, the only thing I can see going wrong with this game is if they crank the SBMM too high. I want to be able to go into pubs and I want to pub stomp and I want to have fun with the boys and I just want to have a laugh. I want to be in general conversation, chilling out, talking to my Twitch chat while we're playing, and just being able to have a good time talking to everyone else and playing the game, but not having to try too hard so I can put a decent game up. Whereas with Cold War, if I wanted to put a half decent game together, I couldn't read chat, I could hardly talk to anyone because I had to focus that hard just to put a decent game together. And I really want it to be like old times where you could just go in, have a laugh with your mates, still drop banger gameplays and have a lot of fun with it. So hopefully the SBMM isn't cranked anywhere near as high as Cold War and we can still have fun with this game. The only other thing I do want to see him add in is a nice ranked game mode. Everyone loves ranked play. If we can put a ranked game mode in with a good ranking system, unlike Cold War, the Cold War system ranking was terrible. Don't ever do that ever again. Give us a good ranking system, give us a good rank mode, and I think a lot more people will play a lot of this multiplayer because of the fact people love to grind rank. They want to have that highest rank, that highest division within the game, and I personally will be getting involved in the rank play as well if it does drop. But overall, guys, I think this game is very, very good. It's given me a lot of hope for the game. I'm feeling very positive about when the game does drop, and personally, I'm really, really looking forward to getting my hands on the full game and start grinding it for you guys with all the camo guides, tips and tricks, class setups, fastest ways to level up, best gun level methods, all this sort of stuff. I'm really, really excited to get into it and just taking it down that route of being able to help you guys out and getting the camo guides done and the camos fastest and all that sort of stuff, and then also get a feel for the weapons in Warzone when that changeover does happen along with the new map and the anti-cheat. Super, super excited. Overall, I'm going to give the beta about an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. I personally really, really enjoyed it. Again, not everyone's going to agree with me. It's my opinion. I personally felt that the beta was a lot of fun. I really, really did enjoy it a lot. So I'll be interested what you guys have to say in the comments below. Please do give me an honest review on the beta. Let me know your thoughts. No one's going to be judging you because it's obviously an opinion. Again, remember though, it is a beta. It's not the finished game. It's nowhere near the finished game, and when the full game does come out, it will be a much more polished version. You can have some more maps, some more guns, and everything like that to take into consideration. So do bear that in mind before you go too harsh on the beta, because I've seen a lot of people beta bashing, and I just don't think they've given it enough a chance when it does come out at full launch. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video and this little review on the Vanguard. If you have enjoyed it, smash big thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, notifications turn on, please make sure you go ahead and do that. As I've mentioned a couple times, I do stream on Twitch. My link is in the description. I stream every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you do want to check that out. I'd appreciate it if you do go and follow me over there. But I appreciate it towards the end. Catch you on the next one in a bit. Woo!